Right, you're feeling frisky enough to train your own AI data model on bass sounds? It's up to speed. This is Harmony AI, part of Stability AI, and they make music AI-ish. And I've been playing around with it today. I'm pretty blown away, actually. Within a day, I was able to train my own data set and got a load of really cool bass sounds out of it. So this is what you're going to need: the Dance Diffusion Fine Tune Notebook to actually get anything out of. So you can either open in Google Colab and it will just open here, and then what you need to do actually previous to this is you need to go on this goddamn Discord and you need to find this pinned tab in DD scripts, and you need to download this make audio chunks AEIOU script, and you need to run that in a Google Colab notebook. So Colab notebooks are Colab Google, the Collaboratoria, the Collaboratoria, and then you upload the file that you just downloaded, which is that make audio chunks thing. I've already got it in my Google Drive, so I'm just going to open it here. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to prepare a data set, right? Now, I'll quickly go through this with you. Mount your Google Drive. This is where you want to keep your data set, right? So this is what's going to take a little bit of time preparing, and you want to make sure you've done it right. You want to make sure you've got a half-decent data set. You want to make sure there's a lot of self-similar things. If you want bass sounds, chuck a load of bass sounds in there, dominantly bass sounds. And then, so you go through this notebook, just pressing it's not really coding, it's pressing buttons. Someone else has already done this wonderful code for you, and we can use it. And it's open source beta. It's not quite released to the general public yet, but they want people messing around with it and finding bugs. So this is what I welcome you into: finding bugs and having fun with random messages you haven't no way to decipher because you didn't write them. Anyway, so what these things do is mount into your drive, so you can see it here, and then you have My Drive in your Files tab here, or sometimes it will come up over here. It depends where you are. So this is where I've put in all my bass samples. It's going to take a while because I've got about 1,000 in there. And then right. Okay, so this is what you're going to want to turn into chunks. This is the chunk maker, right? So we've mounted the drive, we've installed the dependencies, and if you've got MP3s in there, do this, but I would just suggest making them all WAVs to begin with. You're all sound designers, so you know how to do this. Don't put MP3s in there because you're not an animal. Anyway, this is what you're going to call the new file name. So this is going to chop all of these files into smaller chunks, right? And that's the chunk size. You want to just don't change that. Just leave. This will be 48,000. So dependent on your sample rate, you need to change it to your sample rate where you've got where you made all the samples. I assume most of you have already got decent quality loudness dynamics, so you just leave it on false. I've tried global channel. I can't remember which one, but it sounded like shit, and it actually made it worse. So just make sure you normalize your things beforehand, because I mean, it's not that I don't trust data scientists to normalize audio properly, but yeah, I just don't trust data scientists to normalize audio. I shouldn't say this. These guys are amazing. They're not data scientists. These are goddamn wizards of our generation. So yeah, the spacing, I've set that to 2.5, like for my one, and that seemed to work. And I've stripped the silence, anything below 70, but you could set that a little bit higher if you wanted. Now, working path is this base samples, and luckily you can just copy the path and then just paste it in here. Oh, whoops, sorry. Copy path. It's going to be exactly the same thing anyway, but I'm just doing it because I'm obsessive. Anyway, this is where you specify the output folder. So this is going to give you a folder called chunk2, right? And that is what you're going to want to put into yeah, no, I already recorded this video before and then I deleted it. I didn't record the sound, and then I had the speakers turned down, and then I was like, no, damn it, don't worry. Anyway, I'm an idiot. So once you've gone through this process, you're gonna have a giant chunk load of files, and then you're gonna want to go into this fine-tuned dance diffusion that I showed you at the start, which you can get from this GitHub, which is harmonai.org. And then you're just going to run through this. Like, you're not an idiot. You can do this. There will be error messages at some point, like to do with something. And it might be while you're running, which is annoying. So change this to high RAM. That stops it from bailing. I've had a couple of bails today after epochs, and it's just like I'm getting TC mallocs, whatever that means. Like a malloc is memory allocation, I think, or not able to provide enough memory for the allocated task or something like this. So if you're getting that, you're out of memory, and you can either train on your local. I'm not going to show you how to do that, like, because I don't know how to do that. I've got a 4 GB card, and I'm probably reflective of most music producers, I guess, like, because they're not massive like graphics nerds, so they're probably going to be going through this process as well, of training on the cloud, and getting. So this is the thing. I've actually subscribed to this. I'm actually a Colab Pro now, £10 a month, and then I get what are called compute credits, and that gives me 100 compute credits a month or something like this. So you want to link to your Google Drive, and you want to save the models to your Google Drive. So you go through this, and you also want to link to your weights and biases account. Now, weights and biases is a place where you can view the results of your training and view the generations of it here in the spectrogram, and you can listen to the samples of it as it's going. So this is a really great interface to tie in, and what you're going to want is to go into settings and then find your API key, and that's the thing you're going to want to pass into. I've completely lost where I am now. This one. You're going to want to pass into, so after you've done install dependencies, you're going to click this button, train, and then it will give you, enter your API number. I'll show you this now. Enter your API number, and then you'll just chuck, it's just a string of letters and characters. So you just chuck it in there like a password kind of thing, and then it allows the linking between this Colab notebook and the weights and biases. And that's very, very cool. Now, you're going to want to set your names to adequate things. So mine was bass, or I think I just typed Moldy's fine tune, and then I wanted the training directory that I made earlier of my chunked samples. So in my bass samples folder, there's a chunked 2, I think, and then you're going to copy that path into the chunk 2. And then you're going to want to download this, which is these are the already pre-made data sets that you're going to want to adapt. You can train your own models from scratch, but they just say there's no point. So what I've been finding is, like, if you make your data set right, like within a few epochs, it starts weighting itself in that sort of direction, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's taking on a shift. Like the other stuff was just like normal contemporary music. The J-Man small man's package is just normal. I think it's a song from every day, and it's got all sorts of sounds in it. So you want to this process goes through and gradually replaces these files inside them with the ones that you've provided, and then you're going to output a directory. It's not, like, it wasn't made for me, so I had to actually make it. So I had to make this folder models and Dance Diffusion and fine tune and DD models, and then I can actually save my checkpoints. Like, and make sure you are actually saving your checkpoints. Like, I tried, like, I saved it every 250 just because I was paranoid. Because I was losing them, like it was bailing, like because of the memory thing or something. So I wanted to keep my checkpoints, and this is how far I got. So I only, like, you're supposed to do like 700 of these things, like to get some sort of decent result. But I started getting results like here. Like, I started making music, like, and I was like back and forth between Logic and this, making tunes with it, making tunes with these samples as they came out fresh from the oven. Like, I've been collaborating with an AI today, man. It's absolutely crazy. So random crop. So if you've got drum samples, like, you're gonna want to take this off. But I'm testing both of them at the moment, so I'll get back to you on that, on which one I think is better for bass. My intuition was maybe like bass has quite a bit of percussive stuff, but I think when I had it on off random crop, I was getting more clicks in the audio, so I think you need to be really careful about that. And I also chucked in a couple of like curveballs for it. Like, I chucked in like some noisy stuff, some Foley, and I got some really interesting results because it's trying to blend these two. It feels like it's trying to blend these things together, so you're getting these cross sort of mixtures between like Foley mud textures and bass, and it is it's a mind bender. It's a mind bender. So yeah, get on this and start making your own sound. And yeah, let's start trading packages. Like, let's start swapping trained models with each other, making crazy music with each other's sounds. Like, I think that'd be crazy. Like, it's so frustrating collaborating with some like producers, because you're like, work now, god damn it, just do something, just give me some sound. And it's like, you know, if you had their brain like confined into a nice little model, you just click play whenever you wanted a sound from it. You didn't even have to ask them. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great because I just hate people. I think, yeah, I just hate collaborating with people. Screw that. This is much easier. Just I don't know how to end this. Just do it yourself. Go through the process. There's probably enough information there to get going. Like, there's a Discord, there's a website, there's a GitHub. Like, what more do you want? Like, I literally just, you know, I'm gonna hold your hand for it as well. Like, call you fucking sweetie. I don't know.